Is yours.
Perfect, thank you very much. Exactly as you said, this is going to be a live demo. So welcome everyone, good afternoon. Today I'm going to demonstrate just how vulnerable our internet identities can be and the way with which they can be stolen. In today's demonstration, I'm going to highlight the importance of cybersecurity, pen testing, and personal awareness of such threat. So before I do so, please let me briefly introduce myself. So my name is Cyril. I'm not a cybersecurity expert, but I'm an iOS system architect. I'm working at Porsche, and we are developing this beautiful app. We are roughly 30 worldwide teams that are contributing into this application. And since this application directly talks to the vehicle, security is for us first-class citizen. This is what I do for work. Okay, so like I said, it's going to be a live demo. So first thing first, we need a target. So our today's target is going to be Dviba. Dviba is the vulnerable banking app developed by me for those purposes. So before we move forward, then let me introduce you Dviba. So here on stage with me, you can see here my jailbroken iPhone 8 Pro, which is running iOS 16. And is jailbroken with Polarrain. So here is Dviba, and Dviba is crashing on start. So, okay, now I have two possibilities. I can go home crying, and we end up the conference a bit earlier, or I can go to action. So me knowing me, like I'm going to action. So okay, so we have a crashing app on a jailbroken device. So what can we do? So first thing first, I can plug it in console and here search for a report a crash. So this is a console directly talking to the device. So here by searching a bit, here we can find a line which says fatal error found jailbroken device. So the crash is actually not a bug, but it is a feature of the app. As always. Okay, so at this point, I'm going to run iProxy. iProxy will help me proxy to my device via USB cable. Now I can SSH to my device, and now I'm root on my jailbroken device. So first thing first, I'm going to run LLDB to debug the app, and here we have LLDB init, as you can see already. And those are my three main breakpoints that I'm going to use right now. So with no further ado, let's attach the LLDB to Dviba. And here we are using the wait for flag. That means that LLDB will wait up until the app launches so that it can hook into the runtime. And the breakpoints will allow me to not let the app crash before I'm in the runtime. So first thing first, we got hooked in, so that's amazing. We have here like DYLD3, so that's basically the first loading of dynamic libraries into the system. So that's not interesting for us, so let's continue the program execution. Now we are in the UI application main, and me being iOS developer for past 13 years also, I know iOS like by heart. So this is one of the main entry points to the system or to the application. So now we can disassemble the thread and we can have a look what we have there. So here we have like the stack initialization, a couple of assembly instructions, but nothing really interesting to us right now. So let me continue the program execution again. And here we are. So here we have the fatal error, found jailbroken device. Okay, so what can I do at this point is to print the backtrace of the program, and here we go. Here we have the Swift assertion failure, and that's basically where the program is crashing. The last point, which we can see, that was referenced from the main executable Dviba, is actually this symbol, so 2294. So now, like, if I continue the program execution, then the app will now, I actually can't do it because it's already in fatal error. I can do process detach, and the app crashed. So by finding actually where the app crashes and the last point from the Dviba, we can adjust now. I'm going to quit LDB. Remember, this is still on the device, and I'm going to do nano LDB in it. And here we're going to do, did I copy it? I did. We're going to do breakpoint set, and we're going to do it on the name of the symbol. So just double check breakpoint set. That looks good. So now if we quit that, and if we run LDB again with the same configuration, going to launch debugger, it attached again to the program runtime. Just that. So here we are not interested in the dynamic libraries loading. Now we are in the application main, so we've been there before, but that's also not interesting now for us. And now we are in the unnamed symbol. So this is the last point in the stack that comes from the debugger, where we actually saw something happening in the main app. So let's have a look what's in there. And here you can see already that there is the fatal error, debugger app delegate found debugger attached, and fatal error, blah, 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 and the assertion failure. So this is exactly what we need to bypass. And here are the instructions and call to a third-party library. So here is iOS security suite, am I jailbroken? iOS security suite is a well-known SDK used for those purposes to make sure that the app won't run on a jailbroken device, as implemented in debugger right now. Second, we have here am I debugged? So those are two checks now. And here we have test branch, test bit branch if not 0. So that's this assembly instruction. Essentially what it will do is that it's going to compare the X0 register with this value, which is 0, and then if not matching, then it jumps here. And this address basically continues in the found jailbroken device and let us crash the app. So what to do about it? So first thing first, I'm going to actually set up a few more breakpoints. Now we're going to set a breakpoint on the address where the comparison is happening. So that's this one. I'm going to directly do the second one as well. So breakpoint set on address on this one. And now if I continue the program execution, so now we are in here, test bit branch if not zero, and here the comparison happens. So as you can see here in the disassembler, so here we have already the check that happened. So that's the am I jailbroken check. Now we can have a look at registers. And here at register X0, we already have like the outcome of the value. So that's true. So what we can do is now to override the register. So we're going to do registers write X0, 0. Now if we do registers read, then we've overridden the register. So now if I actually disassemble the thread again and press N for the next instruction, then we actually hopped onto the next check, which is the am I debugged part. OK, so that's good. Now we're going to confirm the network again. OK. So that's good. Now if we go next one, then here the second part happens, because now the am I debugged was checked. So now if I do like registers read, so we have yet again true here. And we already know that we bypassed by setting the register to false this check. So we can do again registers write X0, 0, double check that it was written, and it was. Now we can disassemble the thread again just to double check. And if we press N, then we should not be in fatal error. And if we continue the program execution, then you can see that debugger is loaded, and we successfully bypassed the debugger check and the check for the jailbreak detection. The debugger didn't load the main initial page because it's waiting for me to accept the Wi-Fi again, but we're going to do that in a bit. So now, since I have the app running, and like we did this runtime manipulation to bypass this check in memory, now I can actually do process detach from the LDB. Now I can kill LDB, and now I can go into my Mac, and I have here a binary dump. So I'm using Frida to run the server on the device, and I'm using Frida binary dump to basically now dump the binary from memory, which we've successfully loaded into memory, even before there was this check. So now what I can do is I need to actually go and activate my Python environment, and now I can dump the binary from memory. So now we've successfully dumped the decrypted binary. So why I had to do it this way is that when you are actually logging into your iPhone, then with the sign in from your iCloud, private key and public key is created. Private key stays on your device, public key is sent to Apple, and Apple is using DRM policy to encrypt the binary. But it's encrypted only a tiny bit, as we will see in the next example. That means that if I would just directly copy the downloaded binary, the IPA from the device, then the IPA would be encrypted. That's why I had to basically dump the memory where everything is already in decrypted state. So that worked well. We have debugger IPA here. Actually, let me do directly here. We can have a look where debugger actually is installed, and let us also directly do SCP from the device. So we're going to copy it to desktop, and this will copy the downloaded IPA from the App Store, which is encrypted now. But we're going to use that debugger, the app from the App Store to do the binary patching. So first thing I can do now, I got my hands on the decrypted binary and hands on the IPA from App Store. So let's do a small exploration. So now I have here in the binary dump, I can now deactivate Python. And here we can go to, sorry, we have to go to binary dump. Here we have debugger IPA. Now we have to move IPA to zip. Now we can unzip debugger. Perfect. And now we have the payload here. Now we can open up the debugger in my favorite Z editor. And here we can explore fully what debugger actually has. So first thing first, we can notice frameworks. So those are the third-party frameworks that debugger is linking. So we have iOS security suite, we have TrustKit. Both are like well known in the security practices in iOS development or in mobile development in general. However, for this presentation, I will just show you just a little bit of it. Then we have the decrypted binary, and we have info plist. So for today's presentation, what's also important is this part of the info plist. So this is essentially CF bundle URL schemes. That means that this list of strings that's described here are deep links into the application. So that's also super important for me to know, because I now know for a fact that the app will be able to open up a URL scheme on the phone. So by just clicking on a button, it won't go to web, but it will open the app, and the app will handle it. And now let's do the check of the binary. So what we're gonna do here in debugger IPA, so we are in the dump binary. So we can actually open it up, show package content, and then here we have the decrypted executable. So I'm gonna dump it to Hopper. So this is iOS, so it's using ARC64 binary standard. And what I need to do now, as we saw in the runtime, there was the iOS security suite. And here are the symbols found. So here is the am I debugged? So that's essentially the symbol. We have to find a reference to it. And it's right here. Unfortunately, I can't make it bigger, but I hope you can see it. But here we have the branch link to the am I jailbroken, and the second branch link, am I debugged? So that's what we've bypassed in the runtime. So what I'm going to do right now is to actually go into desktop, And here we can go to the IPA that was downloaded from the device, that was downloaded directly from Test Flight or App Store. That's the same signature, essentially. And now I'm going to use Radar2 to do the binary patching. So in Radar2, that's like a disassembler that will allow me to do the patching. So here I'm using Hopper mostly for its beautiful UI and its simplicity. So here we have the address where the check is happening. So let's start here. So we're gonna have to seek the address. So it's gonna be like this. And we can then print this assembled thread here in Radar as well. Here we have the iOS security suit check and am I jailbroken, am I debugged. So let me just break the PD1 to disassemble one instruction. Okay, so I have to move actually one further. So am I jailbroken? And we need to patch this tbnz instruction. Yeah. So let's do it like this. So now if we do PD1, so we are on the check that we've bypassed successfully in the runtime, and now I can write a NOP operation into this instruction, which will basically which has the same size as this operation in binary, but it won't do any check. So that's done for this instruction. Now I can do it and check it again. So that worked, so that's good. Now we can have a look at the second one. So here we have the first one already successfully patched. Then we have the second one, which is on this address. So we have to also patch that one. Now we can do PD1, and now we can do WA NOP to patch it, and now we can do PD1 to double check. So that was successfully patched. We can double check it in the PDF. So here is two NOP instructions were basically injected or replaced in the binary. So now I can quit, and now I have the patched VIBA. So now what I will do, I will yet again approve my Wi-Fi to have internet working, hopefully. And now I can kill the VIBA, and I can now launch Xcode. And in Xcode, I'm going to use, come on Xcode. In Xcode, I'm going to use devices and simulators to sideload the patched binary onto the device. So here on desktop, we have the patched binary, which is here. That's the one that we SCP from the device. I'm going to drop it on the iPhone. It tells me if I want to replace it, so I say yes. Now it reinstalls VIBA. And hopefully, if I tap it, then it works. Awesome. So we've successfully patched the binary. We did a side loading via my App Store account, which has basically the same signing as VIBA would have. And we are now running the app on a jailbroken device. So that's amazing. Cool. So that was one of the examples. And the second example of the VIBA I'm going to be focusing on right now is this feature. So there is a share with a friend feature. So this is a typical referral program. So you can, for example, reference a friend's email that VIBA would then invite people, and then usually you will get €5 for free on the other account. Here you can see the feature, like, come on, internet. You can see the feature, like me being like native developer, basically my whole life, I can see that this doesn't behave as a native view. Therefore, I would guess that this is HTML somehow injected into the app. So we have VIBA on our hands, and it's decrypted here. And here we have also share with a friend HTML. So this looks awful a lot like the feature that I just showed you. So let's just have a quick look on what it does. So we have a style that doesn't interest us, but here we have script. So we have inject email in JavaScript, we have set email, get token, and update token. So what's really interesting for me now is this piece of code. So this basically is window WebKit message handlers. That means that this JavaScript talks via IPC from the WK web view to the main process of the app. So WK web view, the view that the HTML was loaded in, is really, really secure. That's the best we can do nowadays. But since this is like inter-process communication, meaning that you call from the web view, which runs in an isolated process, the main app process, this could be vulnerable to some injections. Mostly because here we have the set email, and here we can see to do an email plus input validation. So us as developers, we usually work under a lot of pressure, even though it's not like well known on the internet, but it's true. And here we have the code that we've just seen working in action. So you have inner HTML, and you have invitation sent to, and there is the input. So that's true. This should be vulnerable to JavaScript injections. So let's see if that's true. But just before that, here the get token function. As far as I see right now, we have here the structure that's being sent to the main process of iOS. And here is the message, so called get token, and here is the update token. An update token then highly likely stores the data in the HTML or somewhere as a cookie in the HTML to basically use it to authenticate the user so you can have the referral program. Okay, so what can we do? So exploit one. We could just inject alert into the view. But as we can see already here, nothing would trigger it, and alert is not even a script. So second would be to basically inject script alert. So this wouldn't work either, because like I said, here is the input injection into inner HTML, but here, alert, basically nothing is calling it. So what if we would like inject an image has onload function in HTML, and onload function could then trigger our script. So let's see if that would work. So let me go to the app again. Let's hope that I have internet. And this is the script. I'm gonna copy it, load the view again, paste it in, send invitation. And we got hello there. So that's awesome. This is like, we've already proven that this is like prone to JavaScript injections. So super cool. Okay, so what else can we do? So what if we're gonna inject the image, we're gonna not display the image, and on load, we're gonna call the get token, and then we're gonna override the function signature of the update token, and within the overridden function, we're gonna call alert with the secret token that was basically passed into the web view. So let's see if that's gonna work. So if I go back, load the view again, go back here, now we are on the third example. Gonna copy the script, paste it in here, press send, and we got the token from the app. So that's awesome. So this is really, really bad. Now we are able to display the secret token from the web view, which was retrieved from the main process of the application. And this is not good for Dviba. This is not good at all. But this is still like one-to-one attack, right? So this is not something we would be like, the attack vector would be me taking a screenshot of it, and like the token expires in 20 minutes or so. So not much to do and not much to achieve. But what if we would send it to our server? So if you would do it normally, then you would be blocked by most of the security features of the WK web view or web in general. So you can't send it directly via post request to your server, because you would be stopped by the same origin policy. But what you could do is to do double injection, which I figured out like at 2 a.m. So basically, we're gonna do the same. We're gonna call the get token. We're gonna override the update token function signature. And in the update token function, now we're gonna inject yet another image into the HTML, where in that image, we're gonna pass in as the image URL parameters the token. So what I didn't tell you yet is that I have my own Dviba server, which does the sniffing for me. And I'm serving an image to Dviba, which is this image, right? So let's give it a try. So if I go back, load the view again, then gonna copy the exploit 4. Copy, paste it in. Now we got the view here, but most importantly, sorry, the image here, but most importantly, we got the token here. So we've successfully sent the token from the app to the server. So that's awesome. So we actually now could run the scripts on the server to call the APIs and so on and so forth. But that's not something that this is super bad for Dviba, but on the same time, this is also not something that we would be able to exploit fully, because this is still one-to-one relation. I would still need to have basically the script somewhere to basically paste it into the app, so someone would have to hand me the phone, and that's still not so exploitable. But what if? Let's talk remote. What if we had the deep link, and the deep link would basically handle, or the deep link has a variable, right? So the feature would work like that you receive an email from Dviba, there you would have the €5, you would just click it to invite your other friend, there you would have the email address as a variable in the button, hidden as a link that would open Dviba, and that would potentially open the view. So what if, instead of the variable, we would inject the script that we've just created? That would be awesome. So let's give it a try. So let me go back to the homepage of Dviba. And now, if I go to this exploit, so this is the URL encoded JavaScript into the deep link of the app, into the name variable of the feature. And that worked. So now we successfully, by just clicking on the link, triggered the deep link in the app, which popped up the window, which stole the token and uploaded the token to the server. So that's amazing. Okay. Yeah, thanks. Good that we have some proper hackers here. Awesome. So we've achieved actually one-click remote exploit. So what I would do now is to basically open up an email and then write my mate Arnold. So Arnold Schwarzenegger, hey mate, best app ever. Click me, get €5 for free. And now we would basically here we would do link at link, and there we would copy the URL from the presentation. So like that, we would send this email. And it just so happens that my friend Arnold actually handed me his phone. And if you go back here, then if I open up my email and then go on click me, then I got Dviba view here, and the token from Arnold received here. So this is awesome. And thanks Arim Labs the best for trying my my remote tool. Super cool. So we actually achieved a one-click exploit and obtained the token. So now what I can do, me being a mobile engineer, I would now essentially launch a debug server on Dviba, and here I'm gonna use LDB again. I'm gonna try to make it bigger. We're gonna do platform, select remote iOS, and process connect. Perfect, and here we are actually in the runtime again, yet remotely connected. Now I can write expression in Swift, and I can inject the token into the keychain. So now you would have a legit question, like how did I figure it out, the code? And I would just show you the binary because keychain is like Objective-C API, which would have all the attributes within. So here is the sec item, and here I can yet again find references to this symbol and find in the binary where this is implemented, and I would be able to track down what the keychain is looking like for Dviba. Or furthermore, I could also dump the keychain because it's just SQL database on the device. So on jailbroken device, this is not a problem. So now let's try. I need to have my phone unlocked. Let's try to come on. Okay, perfect. And now let's try to execute the keychain injection. That worked, so that's perfect. So now we can yet again do process detach. And now I have to accept the Wi-Fi again here. And now that should kill the debug server, which it did, so that's perfect. And now I have to quit that as well. And now if I basically kill Dviba and launch it again, then you can see that I already have a different list of items. And I'm no longer under my account, but I'm under account of a hardcore killer, which is Arnold Schwarzenegger. And that's super awesome. So we've successfully injected the token that we've stolen to the app's runtime. So we fully own the runtime, and as you can see, I can do whatever I want to it. And to even prove it further, so there is a second level jailbreak detection the app implements. And that's on this view, so I can't send money because I'm on a jailbroken device. So let me work around that as well. So if I yet again open Hopper, then like this would take me a while to figure it out, but here is like jailbreak detection is jailbroken. So this is like Objective-C implementation of jailbreak detection in Dviba. And by knowing it's Objective-C, now I can yet again launch a debug server on the jailbroken device. Here we're gonna jump onto LDB, do platform select remote iOS, and do process connect on the remote device. And now what I'm gonna do is to do runtime swizzling. I'm gonna use the runtime Objective-C, the Objective-C's runtime library. So first thing first, I need to override the function. So I will create something I will call always false. Come on, always false. So that's gonna be my top level function that's injected into the app's runtime. Now I can also call the function returns nil, which is correct, nil is false. And now I have to have a look where the function is located in memory, so that's this address. And now I can write Objective-C swizzling method. So this is basically, this is gonna swizzle the class method, which is jailbreak detection class, and the function on it is jailbroken. And since this is the injected function has the same signature as the jailbroken function here, then now if I basically continue the program execution, here I'm gonna tap send. Now I'm no longer facing the dialog, and I'm free to use the feature as I like. So now I'm gonna go here, and I'm gonna send €1,000 from Arnold's account to my account, and that's how I robbed Arnold Schwarzenegger for $1,000. How evil is that? Okay, awesome. So now I can do process detach, and I wanted to show you two more things. So I wanted to show you, first thing first, the best way to inject HTML into JavaScript. So if you Google that, I know I'm using inner HTML, which is insecure, but I'm a mobile developer or iOS-focused developer, and this is an accepted answer on Stack Overflow. So this is actually from my real work. This happened one of our juniors was using this and wasn't aware of such potential threats, but we didn't have the inter-process communication. So this is on completely another level. But this is something like you wouldn't think of as a mobile developer. And when I gave the talk last time, like people asked me, okay, but you wouldn't use plain JavaScript and HTML, and I can tell you, you probably would, because the last thing you want to have is like hundreds SDKs sitting on your device, which you have no idea what they are doing. I'm talking about NG or like Angular or React views that would be loaded there as well. So that's to that. And second, like we had a look at the TrustKit. So we know for a fact that TrustKit is linked into the runtime. And same as I patched the binary, I would be also able to track where TrustKit is located. And here we have pinned domains that basically one of the configurations in TrustKit. And here we can see the initialization of TrustKit. So that happens here. And here I can track it up to the point where the URL is. So now, if I basically search for this URL in strings, then I got the APIs that the app is talking to. And here, if I directly jump onto the referenced variable from the binary, just by changing dviba to xviba, I would bypass the SSL pinning, and I would just have to make sure that I didn't change the length of the string, because that would corrupt the binary. If I would be replacing it with the same size, then I would be free to go, and I would bypass the SSL pinning similarly as we basically bypassed the jailbreak detection and then the debugger attach detection. Okay, cool. So that was from the live example. So in summary, what happened? So we had in the beginning, crashing app on the jailbroken device. We had to find out what's happening. We found out that it implements jailbreak detection, which we then successfully bypassed in runtime. Furthermore, we were able to dump the binary from memory, where we were fully able to explore the binary. Then we took over the downloaded binary from the App Store. There you could have seen that I was able to also analyze the binary. The encrypted binary from App Store is roughly 10 to 20%. If it would be more, then the app would take a significant amount of time to load into memory, because it would have to decrypt the binary. And that's why Apple is doing it only for the purpose of not running the binary on a different device, so it doesn't protect you. Then we patched the App Store binary. Then we had a look at dviba and its features, and we found a vulnerable share feature, which we were then able to exploit via malicious deep link and send the deep link to Arnold, who did click on the link, which ultimately sent us his token, and we've done it in a way that it wasn't basically visible to Arnold. So can this be done in a secure way? And of course, yes, it can, but it's outside of the scope of this presentation. And what are the key takeaways? What's the message that I'm giving you? So first thing first, the dviba implements everything that OWASP standards are saying. That means that OWASP, I'm not saying it's bad, OWASP is really great, but I know OWASP by heart because I was implementing it many times as well. Therefore, as a reverse engineer, I can also track it down, and you could see it. It didn't take me much time to basically bypass it. When I analyzed big players in the industry, none of them are using the OWASP. They all implement their own versions of those protocols and their own implementations of SSL pinning or hardening and so on. Therefore, custom implementations are much, much harder for me to break, because I have to deep dive into the binary, track the binary, and I would spend significant time before I would be able to break it. Eventually, I would still succeed, but I would have a hard time. What I also wanted to demonstrate today we didn't hear a single talk about mobile. And mobile, for security, from security point of view, is just as important as all our cloud services. Like as you saw, this was a simple vulnerability. Like every pen tester would discover it, like no doubt about it. But how many of us are working under pressure, shipping features? This needs to be done. This depends on hundreds of other features. And sometimes we forget simple things like verification. And if you think I can't do that on modern devices, then you are wrong. So I'm having here with me iPad 7th generation running iOS 18, which I've successfully jailbroke with rootless jailbreak. And I was also able to demonstrate the whole presentation on the jailbroken device there as well. I don't have access to the full system, but for the purpose of this presentation, it would work on the iOS 18 rootless jailbreak as well. That means like all this is also prone to new devices. I accomplished many examples, like I built a whole 8 hours of workshop for mobile teams to be aware of security and how it's important. Some things you've already seen here. Maybe 2 more things I would highlight is Face ID bypass. So you all know when like the phone basically scans your face, then lets you in. But if the Face ID is not backed up by keychain, then you can easily bypass it in memory as well. If it's backed up by keychain, then that's a whole another level of security. I talked to many teams, and one of the teams actually didn't care about it. It's fair to say they don't, but I just want to raise the awareness. Hey, if someone steals the phone, is able to do some sort of like root exploit, even like we saw some with the iMessage last year, that had like root access to the device, then they would be able to bypass the Face ID and so on, and that's not great. Second, I would highlight are the native crypto algorithms that are like available in iOS, because they are also prone to swizzling. You can then also track them and trace them, and that would also let me to figure it out what the app from the encryption point of view is doing. And that was it. Then thank you very much for sticking through it with me. I hope you enjoyed it. And yeah, if you are interested in some of my works. And
do we have any questions? I have a funny story related with your presentation. Okay, but first thing, question.
So this showed how when you have physical access to the device that's jailbroken, how you can manipulate the application.
Mm-hmm.
So what to do to prevent of stealing your Porsche when someone steals your phone?
No, so this was sort of like an example, right? So if someone would steal my phone, it's still encrypted. Like I would have to have the PIN to decrypt the device. Without it, even like Apple like encrypts everything on the disk, and it's encrypted by your Face ID or by your PIN. So I wouldn't be able to break into it. If I would have your face, then that would be a different story. So if I would unlock the device, let's say that we would be able to provide some exploit. Like there were such exploits. Like last year or the year before, there was the triangular exploit of iMessages, if you've read about it. And that basically was an exploit where you would receive a silent iMessage, which you wouldn't notice, and the silent iMessage gained root access and triggered some sort of reverse shell to the attackers. And with that, having just that in hand would allow me to basically hack onto your phone, which is now unlocked, and I would be able to like do whatever I want with it, because that's what I've demonstrated here. I would be able to hook into Porsche app and would be able to also steal your token, for example.
Any other questions? Okay, so the funny story is Wojciech Reguła
Yep.
is one of the person who chose this presentation
Yeah.
from Call for Papers, and the same Wojciech Reguła is a person who created this iOS security suite,
Yeah.
Which was bypassed today.
Yeah.
And during the presentation, I chatted with him,
Yeah.
and he asked me to say you greetings from him.
Yeah. I wanted to meet him actually. Like I'm highlighting his iOS security suite wherever I go. So I wanted to say hi.
I know that this iOS security suite was used by very in automotive apps very
Yeah.
well, yes, because BMW, for example, used the same.
Yeah.
So as you know, everything could be bypassed.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's still a client. That's the point. It's still a client. Like we treat iOS or even Androids as a secure devices, which they are. Like I'm not saying they are not, but like in the bad hands, you could also do really shady things.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.